Hey, how are you doing?
Oh, hello. Welcome. How are you today?
I'm good.
My name is Anna Warren. What is your name?
Chris?
Chris. Hello. I'm happy that you're here today. You're present and on time. I'm aware that you signed the intake form.
I sure did.
And you know what that entails. I'm sure you read through everything.
Yeah,
Gave me some information and gave me an idea of why you're here. But before we actually start our session today, you still need to fill out one more form, which is the informed consent form. And that is just a form that advises the client, which is you, that of the counsel's policies and the state and federal law and the rights of the client. And so, of course, you're the client, so you have rights. And I'm going to just let you know, everything is confidential. Everything that you say will stay in the room. It's not going anywhere else. But if I feel as if you are trying to harm yourself, or you state that you're trying to harm yourself or another person, then that will need to be reported. And I just want you to be aware of that before we start the session. So read over, sign the paper, and then you can begin. That was fast.
Yeah.
You read it through? Okay. So begin. Okay, so I want to start by, getting to know you a little bit, the background, your past history with work, where you used to work, or give me an idea of any situations that you might want to share about your past history and where you at now.
Starting back from my first job, I worked at Enterprise. I've been working there for 7 years. I did that through college, and I just, kept it because I love to keep the discount. But once I graduated college, I ended up getting a job pretty much to jumpstart my career as in IT. I'm an IT administrator. I work for the school system, and I learned a lot technically, but I lost a lot of, social presence and confidence dealing with that job. When I was let go, I was fired. Of course, I'm a hard worker. I was a hard worker. I got along with my actual coworkers, but I didn't get along with my actual managers, which was, a problem. And once I got fired, I turned to drinking because I was worried about a lot of things financially, and I was worried about, me failing to meet the standards of my parents and my girlfriend as well. So it's, a thing of me being scared to speak anymore of my problems, because I feel like that's the reason why I actually got fired, because I spoke up about my payment. I wasn't getting paid enough at the school system. My monthly salary couldn't provide me 3 times the rent amount that I needed to even apply for an apartment anywhere. So that was a big problem that I was going through then, which turned me to drinking, because I feel like that's the only thing that coped with the problems I was feeling. Fast forward into now, and now I am at a better job, but I am closed in. I'm still the same hard worker, but I'm closed in, and that gives me the same type of fear and anxiety that I'm working hard, but I feel like me not being as social as I should be will cause me to get fired. So that's pretty much the main gist of while I'm here in my history.
Okay, so just to clarify that last statement before I just share with you what you said to me, just to make sure that I'm hearing you out. You said that fear and anxiety might cause you to get fired. Is that what you mean by that?
Like, I guess I'm scared that me being closed in causes, like, you know, is a pivotal point of like me getting fired. Like, you know, oh, he's closed in, he's not a people person, he doesn't
to yourself.
He keeps to himself, and I'm scared that, you know, that's not enough for the job I'm in to be able to, you know, make my superiors happy.
And you haven't always been closed in, or have you been that type of person?
I've always been closed in, but now after I lost my job that time, I'm really closed in. Like I said earlier, I guess you can say I got along with my coworkers. I definitely talked to my coworkers back then a little bit, a lot more than I do now. I didn't talk to my bosses like I probably should have, but like now I really don't talk to my coworkers at my job now.
So your past has affected how you communicate with the people at your job, coworkers, bosses. Has that affected how you communicate with your family members as well, or just your coworkers in the workplace?
Honestly, I would say yes. Because I definitely did not want to tell my girlfriend that I lost my job and I was having financial problems, and as well as my parents. I really want to make them, you know, proud. And when I lost my job, they're very strict on me and want me to succeed, and I felt like I guess let them down.
What was the reaction when you left?
They were very, like, they were inquisitive and wondering why, as well as them saying I need to find a job, I need to make ends meet, I need to figure this thing out now, or, you know, we have to figure something out, and, you know.
So they were understanding, or they were more like, you need to get a job right now, like, don't embarrass the family, like, what was that dynamic?
It was more so, you need to get a job right now.
Or what?
Or, you know, you need to get a job now. You kind of like, you know, we hold you to we hold you to a standard, and you need to meet that. So
they held you to a standard?
Yes.
And how did it make you feel when they said they held you to a standard? Is that impacting you now? Like, you feel like you have to be at a certain standard in this present?
Yes, definitely.
In your career?
Yes, when they told me that, I had to, like, it was an eye opener, because I just like, man, like, I don't want to let them down. I have to figure something out, and I gotta just, you know, punch through. And
how did you punch through? How did you jump back? How did your resilience put you in this position you're in now?
That I really don't know. I just went on Indeed. I mean, just put my resume on Indeed and ended up getting a call, and I got a job.
And that's good. Okay, so we've talked a little bit, you know, and like I said, I'm gonna feedback what you said to me, so I am hearing what you're saying.
Okay.
Correct me if I'm wrong. I just want to make sure I'm following you. Okay, so you started off saying that, you know, your past history. In your past history, you were actually fired from your job, and you mentioned that you, like, during that time, you seemed shocked that you was fired, being that you were a hard worker.
Yeah.
You was always you had a good relationship with your coworkers, somewhat of a good relationship. It obviously impacted, you know, and affected you now in your present job. And one thing I did hear is that you spoke up. And I do want to say, speaking out is a good thing. Especially when you have rights, you have freedom of speech, and you have a right to feel that you should get a higher pay, especially since you know, are a hard worker, and just to ask, you have been there, you had worked there for a good bit. Yes, okay, so, and you worked there for a few bits, so you felt like you deserved it. You couldn't even afford to pay your bills, really. And so you felt that speaking out would be the best way. And I do want to say that, am I following so far?
Yes, you're
okay, and I do want to say that, you know, I commend you for that, because not everyone can do that, and you seem as if you are that spokesman. Some of your coworkers probably felt the same way, but you are a leader, and it showed because of you just saying how you're outspoken, and I'm sure you're not the only one who felt that way. And so your outspokenness did lead, you felt like it led you to get fired, but I did hear that now you're in a better position.
Yes.
You also said that during that time you felt like, you know, you didn't really want to communicate with your parents about everything because they held you to a high standard. And am I following?
Yes, you definitely are. And I will say this, even at my new job now, even like, you know, I've been there for, you know, a good bit as well, and I've actually got another promotion. So
wow.
that's pretty good too. So
okay, that's good to hear. And so you jumped to a better, you know, job now. You've that job that did not see your worth and your skills let you go, but then it seems as if you found something better.
Yeah, I definitely did.
And that honestly, I don't know if you know, but I don't like to always say everything happens for a reason. But in your circumstance or in your situation, you went from a job that did not pay you very well to a job you seem like I'm in a good position right now.
Definitely.
And so you can look at your past, but for now I'm seeing that you're actually in a position where you even got a raise and in a better position. So you're climbing the ladder versus you at that old job, you wasn't moving anywhere, and they weren't trying to move you anywhere. They weren't trying to put you in a position where you deserve that pay. And so that's a good position to be in. And also, although you were fearing that you might not be good enough for this job, at this present moment, it seems as if you're in a good position. I just want to ask you, so have you learned to deal with that past situation and transformed whatever issues? Did you ever reflect on that time, or is this your first time reflecting on this time about some of the things you might have wanted to work on that you didn't work on here, that you can work on in you know, this present job?
Actually, I mean, the last job caused me to just shut down from everybody. And 100% and 110% focus on the actual work itself. No outside relationships other than work. When I say no outside relationship, meaning I really don't talk to my coworkers, so I don't have any relationship with my coworkers or my bosses. And as well as, I want to bring something up that I forgot to bring up earlier, is I'm the only black person. I was the only black person at my last job, and I'm the only black person now. So that is another thing I do worry about, that me being the black person, I feel like I'm being looked at the most and, you know, paid attention the most just because I'm black. So being black, you feel might be an issue in both, the past workplace and the current.
is the dynamic, like, do your bosses speak to you, greet you in a way in this new job? Because it seems like that, your past job, they couldn't communicate. They couldn't even communicate to you about how they feel about you asking like for a raise. So is that the same dynamics here, or with your bosses and stuff, or do you feel like they're more understanding?
I guess they're more understanding. I guess.
But you're closed in.
I'm still closed in, but since I did get a promotion, I'm guessing that
they do see the value.
Yeah, they do see the value.
And I'm sure they do. And just how you were talking about yourself and you know who you are as a person in the workplace. I can believe that, of course someone's willing to give you a raise that sees the value in you. I feel like the only difference is that job did not see the value in you. That's on them. They missed that opportunity to have someone as great as you. And so the fear and anxiety you have, is that normal? I'm talking about, is that only in work, or you have anxiety of other things, or just of you getting fired? Like fear of being fired. Sorry.
It's me being, I guess, fired, as well as me meeting the expectations that my parents have, and meeting the financial responsibilities that I do have as well.
Okay.
But I guess that goes back in the hand of, I wouldn't have to worry about those if I didn't get fired. So it's based off of, I guess the main point is, the main point is me getting fired.
Okay.
Is the main thing.
And
everything else trickles down.
And I understand, because some things that affect your life in your career can affect your life outside of work.
Yes.
And so it seems as if you're scared of the relationship you're gonna have with your parents, even your girlfriend that you mentioned. But your family, you have people that love you and care for you, and no matter how much issues you have in the workplace, you still have people that are willing to communicate with you, and I'm hoping that's true.
Yeah.
Do you feel like even your girlfriend's able to communicate with you? Like your parents are very understanding. They're just strict on specific expectations.
I would say my girlfriend, she is very understanding, but I just didn't really tell her about the whole financial aspect of me not having money. And with my parents, I guess they are understanding, but I can say they're not, because they just want to they said, get a job or else. So that's like their final, like, get a job, you need a job, you need to work. So
on top of you fearing about getting fired, you're fearing that as a result of you, like, might be getting fired, or as a result of it being possible that you can get fired again, you're scared of what your parents gonna view you as, or and I understand that's a normal feeling that you can feel, because of their expectations of him and how they expect your career to go. And it seems like you value family and friends a lot, as well as what people think of you. But I can say that based on what you've told me so far, that although you do have fear and anxiety, that people have valued you in this specific present moment at your workplace, rather than the people that in your past. And so I do feel like we should work on some things. This is just a start of getting to know you and everything, but I do see that trying to be accepted, or your fear is hindering you from being able to communicate and being able to just be your authentic self, being optimistic. And so we're going to work on being optimistic, as well as being approachable, or being able to value yourself, and also learn interpersonal skills, and also learn the interpersonal skills that can work not only in the workplace but with your family, so they understand your side, your perspective. And so the first assignment that I do want to work with you, as I've heard you talk, I think it's best that we're going to do 2 assignments, one for some homework and one right here presently. And so because you're fearing that you're possibly gonna get fired, and I'm hoping you're not. I cannot promise you. Situations happen. Some things are unexpected, like the past where it was unexpected that you was gonna get fired. And so we want to prepare you so that you don't feel this way again, and you are being able to be resilient, jump back, and look at things a whole different way. And so the first thing we're gonna do today is look at some. I have my computer here, and I have we're gonna look at some jobs.
Okay.
And the reason being is that you have options. It's good to have options because you're able to be resilient and fall back, and then you know that other people value you.
Okay.
So you don't feel devalued. You don't feel as if you're fearing of losing or not being able to be financially stable, or not being able to be accepted in a specific job. And so we're gonna look at some jobs, so that you know that you have options, and that you're able to send your resume, cover letter, and you have somebody that can say, yes, I want you. And that will give you confidence and build, some different values that you might not have yet. And so we're going to go here, and you have your resume and cover letter updated.
Yes, I do.
Okay. And is this do you feel like this is a good exercise? Like, do you feel like you're confused right now? Why would you put me in this position? Or do you understand that you're looking at job? Do you have options? Like, what do you see? Are you okay with this?
I'm okay with it. I can, see what else is out there. I guess having a backup plan per se, if anything goes wrong before it happens, so I just know, how to move quickly if it does happen.
Okay.
Let's see.
So we're gonna go. Yes, indeed. And so, have you thought about how long have you been working in Huntsville? Because I know it said that.
12 years.
Oh wow, okay. And so have you ever thought about moving somewhere else as well?
Actually, I thought about it earlier, but no, I haven't. Really.
Okay, well, we're going to look at some options here. We're going to take our time. This is not to say go ahead and look at a job, because I'm not saying that you're going to get fired. I just want you to understand that. No, I'm just trying to give you some strategies in order to help you cope with that fear and anxiety, because it seems like it's not severe. It's just the fear of you, getting fired from that job. And so doing this exercise just so that you can get a feel of some strategies. And so we have jobs. So we're going to look at the jobs, and the jobs here in Huntsville: IT administrative assistant. This one, you have
senior administrative assistant.
And so even if you're,
they're actually paying more than I'm at now. Okay.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh wow. But these are just options. And so this is just to show you this is the site. I'm sure you've used Indeed before, right? And so anytime that you just want to just calm yourself down, you can look at some resources out here to help you. And you know that this is new technology, so you're able to reach out to people and communicate with people. And also, not only this, so you've reviewed this. So this is just a quick exercise of you going out researching. But also, so how was that? Like, just straightforward?
Yeah, it really was. Okay.
Do you feel like it could be helpful?
Definitely, it can be helpful. I guess when I do feel like, oh, well, I'm going to get fired and I don't know how I'm going to pay my bills, I can, go on Indeed and look at some jobs and see how I compare to the job market that is what is the jobs are requiring of IT professionals, and maybe even brush up on getting more certifications so I can look better to potential employers to even get a job.
Right. And so do you understand that this is not an exercise to say you're going to fail or you're not going to succeed in your career at this position job, right? Do you understand that?
Yeah.
Okay. And I also wanted to go back to say that because of this, you're kind of locked on, you're very to yourself. Learn how to network.
Okay.
It seems as if you didn't network before, and so we're gonna transition to some new skills. Networking is a great way to get to know people.
Okay.
That will lessen your fear. See, the first exercise is just simple, just looking up some things to know you have options and know that you have people other than these jobs that you are presently in. You have people who might that might see you as different than anybody else sees you, and so networking is another way. Networking is important because you allow yourself to meet new people, meet your bosses, so that perception or that view of you're black and I'm black, so they're gonna probably just fire me just because I'm gonna be the only black guy they fire because the things that you've said. So networking is a great way to get to know your bosses, your coworkers, and have a better relationship. That will help you to view things a lot different.
Okay.
And so that would be another homework assignment. So networking as well as starting to put yourself out there.
Okay.
And so for the next session, we will talk about that so that I can get an idea of how you felt putting yourself out there. Did you feel a little bit better? And how you felt learning new skills that you could have done in the past, but how you do in the present, where you got a good job. Have people who value you, like you said, you got a raise, and that means you have bosses who notice your work ethic, that notice how well you work and how hard working you work, and you're diligent and you're very resilient, as I've seen. And so we're gonna work on erasing those negative thoughts. And I understand why you might feel that way. You understand, it's normal to feel that way, but let's shift that thinking, because you can speak it to me that you're in a good job, you're in a position, and so I am glad that you've came today. And I'm going to summarize everything that you said in totality so that I've gotten everything, and then we can end the session today. And so the first thing we talked about was your past and your background history of a job that didn't appreciate you. Am I correct?
Yeah.
And it has affected your present job because you fear that that this job might fire you as well.
Yeah.
One, because you're black. One, because they might not see the value that you see in yourself, and that also has affected or intertwined with your relationships and with your family, specifically your parents and your girlfriend, because you have your parents who see you as you're supposed to be on this high pedestal of making things work, making sure you have a job, making sure you're financially stable, and then you're scared to communicate with your girlfriend because you want to be make sure I'm right, that man, the man that society tells us the man that should be able to pay and all of that. So that's understandable. You also mentioned that you are very closed in, and that's something that you're gonna work on, right?
Yes, I definitely am.
You mentioned that you're scared to speak up overall, not only in your career but in your outside environment. And so, am I correct? Am I
Yes.
following?
Mhm.
Okay. And so, you have that homework assignment. Can you share back with me what I told you to do?
You told me to go and I guess my homework said go home and actually network and actually kind of open up a little bit to be able to share thoughts, share, situations in terms of my job and what else I need to do to, I guess have more security with my job.
Exactly.
And I guess start a, small, relationship, with my coworkers to help, build camaraderie, and I can end up, networking, getting some information from them, and get information from me, and it can be like, a big circle.
So it seems like you understand the assignment.
Yes.
I'm just glad that you're able to be positive about this, even though you still have those negative thoughts of fear and anxiety. That's totally normal because of your past. But we're gonna work on that together in our sessions. I hope that you learned something from this today, and we will definitely see each other again. Correct?
Yes.
Okay. Well, have a nice day, Mr. Christopher.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
You're like my expensive best friend.
Bye. Have a nice day.
You too.